Okay, so in this video, I'm basically just going to go over a few pairs that I focus on a day-to-day basis, out with my kind of main strength and weakness checklist. These are the pairs that I look at most days, if not every day. So for this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over what I think can happen the next day. So today is Monday the 14th. As you can see, we aren't on replay mode or anything. This is actual the time. I'm in Spain, so it's an hour ahead of the London time, but it's Monday, 14th of December 2020. So let's start with the first Euro Aussie. So Euro Australian dollar was actually looking for longs today, which actually did occur. I had a position stopped at break even just before the main kind of push, and I wasn't around to get this kind of main push, which is unfortunate. But it was within my trading hours. But what can you do? So it's obviously we still have like an hour to go for the daily candle, but to me, I don't really see it as that much of an issue in terms of looking before the candle closes, because as you can see, the last kind of few hours don't really make that much of a difference. Never mind the next hour. So the 4 hour candle has closed pretty strong bullish. Today's going to close bullish, but into a break and retest area. So we have this area here, which can be a potential area for sellers to come back into the market. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark off here. Now, this would be quite a push, quite an Asian push if we're up here by start of London, pre-London. I don't see that personally happening. We do also have this kind of area here, which I don't usually go this far back, but because we wouldn't actually be cutting through any candles, just the wicks in this particular zone, break and retest zone, and we haven't. Well, we kind of immediately retested it, as you can see, but we haven't. I can imagine that sellers could be more interested, and it's more realistic for price to be around here for sellers rather than up here. So, excuse me, the buyers are in control right now, but going into tomorrow, what I would be looking for is signs of sellers in here, which would be obviously a 4 hour bearish candle or something like that. Now, we could get a 4 hour break and retest to the upside if price is able to close beyond this area, and actually the extended area is up at this wick for me anyway, because the body that creates this resistance as of right now, the body here, we cut through this immediate candle, but to me the whole resistance is actually up to this top wick. So unless we're close beyond here, I see this resistance as holding in terms of general structure. So I would still, even although the today's candle is going to close pretty strong bullish, I would be looking for longs only if we can get a close beyond this resistance, and then in the Asia session we pull back and we do something like up to here, pull back, and then look for the next zone. That would be my thoughts for longs. And as I said, for shorts, it's basically for price to be around here in the morning, sellers to be present, and then our first target would be back into the kind of main resistance area here, but then the main kind of target would be this low from last week, which is well, it's basically the low of today, really. We would want to watch the open, which is around 1.6070, because of the strength of this bullish candle. But overall, that's my thoughts for Euro Aussie for tomorrow. Looking at dollar CAD, as you can see, as I say, I don't look below the 4 hour, so that's the way that it is. I feel that if you look below that for the next day, you're just causing yourself more work and more hassle than what actually you need to do. So as you can see, the zones that I've marked out are very clean for today. We had the open around this area, came back into the support, as I mentioned in a previous video, and then we've had the reaction like what I thought it would be. So today is kind of a sideways bullish day. Now, it's a sideways bullish day in a downtrend that we're reacting off of this resistance, this break and retest area. Now, if it was really strong in my eyes, what it would have done is it would have came into this area today and sold off. Whereas the fact that it's actually been able to, price has been able to create this support and hold it again today tells me that I should be wary. So in terms of the 4 hour, again, I see reasons for both sells and longs. So if there's 4 hour candle, say so for example, if this 4 hour bearish candle holds, I'll just make it a bit bigger. Actually, the 4 hour, it makes sense. If this 4 hour bearish candle holds, this will create new resistance at previous resistance. So this could be an area that if price is in here in the morning, it could make sense to sell if the sellers are in in control of the market. And likewise for buys, I would either want a close beyond these wicks and then first target being up into this area here. So close beyond the wicks, pull back, and then looking for longs. So around a 40 pip move, or having a look again to see if price gets around here again to then look for longs. Now, obviously, I'll just delete that. Obviously, price in Asia session could pull back a bit, create new support around here, create a bullish candle, and then it's created basically a push, pull back, and then another push. But because I can't mark that out just now because we don't have the evidence, so I'm not going to say, right, that's what's going to happen whenever actually I don't know. You don't know what the market's going to do, but it's just nice and simple what I'm using for the market and going forward. Now, let's just do pound dollar, and that will be the last one for this, just to keep it nice and short so that it's easy to follow, and obviously it works on all pairs, but it's just for the kind of main pairs that I look at day-to-day basis. And obviously I'll be doing it for everything, but just for the purposes of this video, just want to keep it short and sweet and easy to consume and learn something from, rather than just watching something like a weekly analysis when it's too far ahead, too many pairs, and by the end of it you're like, what am I even watching? So previous day is the day's going to close bearish, but back above this support, which is quite interesting. We've got this support here. So it's going to be interesting to see if it is indeed going to be, you've got this, pull back, break through, and then whether we're going to use it as a retest to the downside, or whether we're going to use this as support again and go higher. Now, let's delete that. So we have that, we have those thoughts. I mean, most days for me, for a day trading perspective, unless it's really obvious, I can see reasons for both trades. So today's a sideways day with bearish intent in my eyes, but obviously the buyers are coming in again. We've got this support area that's holding, so I wouldn't really be selling into a strong 4 hour support like this, especially as we've pushed beyond it. But we do have this gap that needs to be filled, so it could be a kind of clue to where price wants to go. If it can get beyond these areas, then it would make sense that the gap would be filled and price could get back down to 1.32. So if we go to the 4 hour, you can see that we have this support area. So I'll just mark that out. again, keep things simple for yourself the night before. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Take a couple of notes and be like, right, if prices in this area, I'll look for sells. If prices in this area, I'll look for buys. If it gives me the reasons, like as I go over with the people that I work with, and you'll have your own reasons what you want to see in those areas to then make you want to take a trade. So for shorts, I would be wanting to see price close beyond this kind of area. So close beyond, retest, and then drop, filling in this gap here that we can use. Or for longs, just because a gap's there, I always used to think, oh, a gap has to be immediately filled. But this is a perfect example of, well, actually, it doesn't have to be. This is a day later, and this gap's still in the market. So usually, more often than not, it's going to be within the week. It's very rare that I've ever seen one that's lasted like a month or something where price has gone so far from the gap area that it's not been able to fill it. So that would be my short idea. So like a break and retest down into this area here, or at least to the kind of this previous area here, which was resistance. It could bounce off of there and then come back into here, which could be a possibility as well. For longs, I would be looking for this area to hold, so this support, and then if there's a buyer's candle around here in the morning, then you can be looking for longs back up into this resistance area here as your kind of first main target. Obviously, there'll be areas in the 1 hour that you'll get to notice from your own analysis or however you've learned, that you'll see, right, okay, well, this is a really good area, 1.3410, but between 1.3320 and 1.3410 is 90 pips, so maybe there will be kind of smaller area that I should be aware of. So yeah, buys from around this area. I can't see that by the time that we get here in the morning that we would have closed beyond here. So buys from here, or sells from a break and retest of here, or sells from, if we get up into here in Asia session, sells from here back down into here as another option. That would be my kind of three I would be looking for. Obviously, if there's something crazy fundamentally that comes out overnight, then obviously that can change my bias as well. But from what I see with structure, that's what it's looking like. So what I'll do is I'll leave the video here and I'll watch this myself. Obviously, you can watch it as well. And then I'll do a kind of recap saying what happened. Obviously, there could be new structure areas created in Asia session that you don't know is going to be created just now. There's no way to say that. All you can work with is closed candles and the kind of range of the higher time frame candles to allow you to see, right, okay, well, this would be sell high, this would be buy low in terms of this time frame and the immediate, medium, or longer term. So leave it there, 3 pairs, and I'll do a follow-up, see what happens in Asia session, and just kind of see, right, okay, well, what I actually spoke about, did something similar to that happen, or did something completely different happen that you couldn't have foreseen during the night, and then you had to change your thought process in London? If that does happen, then obviously I'll go through what I would then be doing if that occurred, and then looking for the kind of trade of the day for that pair, as I don't really like to trade more than 3 times in a day, very rarely. So it's just about taking the best trades that I think possible for the type of trades that I want to be trading day in, day out. But anyway, I hope this video has been of use for you and you've learned something to take into your own trading.